Aloha everyone, Dr. Nicholas Tancheff here at Hawaiian Fasting Retreats. I want to give you guys a brief history about myself so you can kind of have an idea of where I've come from, where I am today, and what I'm looking forward to in the future. When I was in my final year in college at the University of Notre Dame, I was following a highly destructive college lifestyle, standard American diet, drinking, partying, and this eventually led me down to a decline in my own personal health to the point that I wasn't able to find any mode to recover from. I suffered with chronic fatigue syndrome, which I later developed multiple chemical sensitivities so severe that I wasn't able to actually be able to function in the normal everyday environment which we expose ourselves to on a daily basis. So this led me to a personal health transformation, looking for ways to recover my health, finally realizing or coming to the conclusion that I was never probably ever going to recover my health. I went to so many different types of doctors and had so many different types of treatments, and to no avail. I really didn't see any way of recovering my health at that point. I continued to graduate from school at that time. I had 1 year remaining, and I did complete that year, though it was very difficult for me. And I finally wound up going into the banking industry, and I was as a personal banker for one of the major banks in the country. And I continued to just suffer and suffer until I finally had to actually quit my job. Once I quit my job, I just decided I would focus on my own personal health and try to do whatever I could. I didn't think that I would ever actually recover my health at that point, but I thought, well, I can't do this, so I better do nothing. So I eventually wound up going to the Ozarks in Missouri, having suffered with multiple chemical sensitivities. I was brought to a place where the facility where I was located at in the Ozarks catered to people who had chemical sensitivities. The person who was running this place had actually studied with Johnny Love Wisdom in Ecuador. Johnny Love Wisdom was a strong advocate of natural hygiene, raw foodism, and fasting. All of these things were very new to me, but I was open to giving it a try. And I started to feel so great there. I started to just eat raw foods, fruits, vegetables, and fruit juices, fruit smoothies, and a lot of vegetable juice. And I started to feel really good. I started to finally, for the first time in years, start to feel my fatigue lifting, and I started to have energy and endurance. And he also taught me about fasting a little bit, so I did a couple of days of fasting, and though I didn't feel so great when I was fasting, I felt so amazing after fasting for those couple of days that I knew that when I went back home after spending a couple of weeks there, that I would only live this way probably for the rest of my life. I was so convinced. So when I went back home, I started to live out in nature as much as possible. And I lived on juices, fruit, vegetables. I started making a lot of vegetable juice, and I started to do a lot of exercise, spending a lot of time outdoors exercising. I had great endurance and energy. My weight was dropping, but I felt so good I didn't care. And this was a very important time for me, a time whereby I spent time reading only success books, read a lot of books that were written by Napoleon Hill, read a lot of books by authors that had written about raw foods and fasting. Started learning more and more about fasting. I started to do more short fasts on my own, though I didn't understand the requirement of rest while fasting, but at that time I was learning more and more. A book that I read called Fasting Can Save Your Life by Herbert Shelton changed my perception of fasting and natural hygiene to another level. So once I learned about fasting under supervision while resting, called therapeutic water fasting, I decided to give this a try for myself. Though I felt so good in my energy, I still suffered with multiple chemical sensitivities, not able to function normally when I would get exposed to chemicals and pollutants in our environment. I didn't expose myself very often at that time because I was living a cleaner life and not needing to be exposed to that type of environment. But I wanted to recover from this, and I felt like I was on the right path. So I had faith in fasting. And fasting, I went to a facility at Dr. Scott's clinic in Cleveland, Ohio, and there I underwent a 30-day water fast. And following this long fast, I started to finally, for the first time in years, feel the fatigue having been totally lifted. I started to also feel the brain fog lift and the chemical sensitivities lift, and I could think more clearly, and I started to feel so good, and I knew that I was definitely going to continue to recover at even a higher level. So following this period of my life, I finally was ready to start embarking on a new career, a new way of living, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to pursue a career which would benefit other people from having to go through such suffering. And I decided that what I wanted to do was I wanted to be a doctor that would be able to help people to be able to recover their health and not have to go through so many modes of treatments, alternative therapies, and conventional therapies that did not do what they needed to do, which was to actually recover their health and heal. And so I wanted to be able to help people to actually heal. So this was the beginning now where I decided that I wanted to be a doctor, and I would go back to school and I would pursue a career in the field of chiropractic and be able to help people to heal without the use of drugs. I decided to move down to San Diego. I had been offered to work with David Wolfe for some time, and so I worked with David Wolfe for a while before at his company, Nature's First Law, prior to starting my career in the chiropractic field. So following some time of working there, I decided to start chiropractic school. And following chiropractic school, I wanted to be certified in water fasting supervision, so I went to a facility run by Dr. Alan Goldhammer in Santa Rosa, California, named True North Health Center. And there they have a doctor training program for those doctors that want to be trained in water fasting supervision. So after undergoing all that program and being through chiropractic school, I really wanted to get away from all of the rigorous life of studying and learning, and I wanted to be able to develop a facility where people would be able to heal very effectively in a very health-conducive environment. So I went to Africa for a few years, and I spent some time in Kenya, and I bought some land along the coast there in Kenya, and a beautiful, wonderful healing environment there where I got a chance to pursue my interests of growing food and living in a very clean, healthy environment where it was very wild. And I really enjoyed my life there, but I knew that it was finally time for me to come back to America and pursue my career in Hawaii, where I would be able to do a very good job of creating a very health-conducive environment where people here in the Americas would be able to find me and be able to heal. So now this is where I am, located here in Hawaii. We've developed a facility here called Hawaiian Fasting Retreats. And my goal, my personal goal, is to help as many people as possible recover their health the right way. And so I hoped to make this facility the #1 fasting facility in the world. And I would love to have as many people as possible join me and be a part of this experience of helping people to recover their health through fasting and raw food and following a healthy lifestyle in a clean environment where the ocean is near and where you can just enjoy life and heal at the same time. So thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully we'll be seeing you here soon. Mahalo.